for right now, a lot of love, and I would like to apologize because this is close to my heart. I failed to convey my love and peace to all the families who are affected by this. But I want you to be full of love energy right now, because this is what you need right now. You don't need hatred. Hatred will only create more hatred and more gunmen in the world. So let me arrange the angle of the camera today, because I will be talking directly to all of you today. It's not a funny video, it's not an entertaining video, because my videos are not that. My videos are all about being to the point. Even through good times, I'm talking about things about consciousness, love, energy, oneness, responsibility. But right now is a very important time for us to drive down these points, because there has been another shooting incident in Texas, and Texas, let me tell you, is by GDP the second wealthiest state of the United States of America, the first world country, which is the dream life and lifestyle of most people who are dwelling in the second or third world countries like me in India. There's so many people around me who want that lifestyle, to be in the United States. But for what? I heard recently in the news that parents are afraid to send their children to school in the second most wealthiest state of the most wealthiest country in this world. And that has what has happened in this world. That's what we have come down to now. And all the capitalistic lifestyle, all the possessions, all the stimulations, all the excitement are not enough. And there is this clear case where an 18-year-old kid loaded guns, 19 children killed, 2 adults killed. Such massacres have been happening over the past few years, and especially in this year in the United States of America. And we want to live that life. We want to live that sensational, possessionful, capitalistic life. And I have a shout out to give to Logan Paul. First, a shout out because he came out very strongly against whatever has happened and racism and this and that. And I saw a video yesterday, maybe it was an old video, where he was saying we have to keep ourselves accountable, our family accountable, others accountable. But I also wish to tell such creators, entertainers, influencers, that the mediums that they use to entertain, influence and gain that publicity, were they responsible while doing that? Or were they spreading the same excited energy, stimulated energy to young minds who are very, very influenceable? So growing minds are idolizing people who have, by virtue of playing all these video games, circulated video games. I see so many of these big time influencers in this world are gamers, and they play games, and most of these games are violent, and they think that they won't affect them, but then they cover it up by doing some sort of charity, doing some sort of good work. But they don't understand that at that age where I work with children, pre-adolescent age, they are so susceptible to getting influenced, and their minds, whatever you feed them, they will get imprinted. And there are no responsible ways of portraying irresponsibility in front of children. So it is not a reaction that should come out of all these big time influencers in the world. And it's my request for them to start finding more depth and consciousness within themselves. Don't chase views and content, because by virtue of doing that, they spoil their own life, and they also spoil so many lives. The consequences are not seen immediately, but through these massacres eventually. And we don't know how many bombs are there ready to explode in the form of humans who have been influenced. They have not been allowed to live lives of authenticity, realness. They have not been allowed to make peace with boredom, commonality, because they've been shown the bigger picture. I see Indians trying to imitate all these influencers, and I feel pity, because they don't know what kind of an imbalance these people are imbibing. The little kids who are watching and getting influenced, the little girls who are wearing those clothes, who are wearing those lifestyles, who are doing those things. It's not about being super responsible also, it's about being balanced and being okay with being bored, being okay with working hard towards certain goals, being okay with doing things for 5, 10, 15 years. I've spent 15 years in what I do, 17 years in what I do. Still, I am not that prominent a face in this industry. I don't call myself an influencer. I'm a coach. I coach people, but I use this medium to get my word out to people of what I learned over these 17, 18 years of living like a human hamster who keeps absorbing things and giving off things which have worked for me. So for me, it is very important that rather than just trying to get famous and in that process spreading all this violence, hatred within people, which you think you are not going to do because you're not responsible, you won't take responsibility, but you are doing it. All these games have that impact on children. And then the president comes along and says we have to make better gun laws. You make whatever laws you want to. For the mind which is corrupted, there are no laws. For the mind which has taken the path of the devil, there are no laws. And yeah, there are so many good Christian pastors there. There are so many people who are there who are saying the right things, but they are seldom heard until and unless these things happen. So for right now, a lot of love, and I would like to apologize because this is close to my heart. I failed to convey my love and peace to all the families who are affected by this. But I want you to be full of love energy right now because this is what you need right now. You don't need hatred. Hatred will only create more hatred and more gunmen in the world. And just understand this one aspect of life. The monstrosities that we see in another person of our own species is a potentiality within us too. So is the case with the goodness that we see in someone else. It's a potentiality within us too. And if we are nurtured in the right direction, our goodness comes out. If we are nurtured like we are being nurtured mindlessly by influence, excitation, and all the noise of the world, then the monsters come out sooner rather than later. And you don't know, you can't predict how bad these monsters will be and what they are capable of, but they are capable of that. And these are not separate individuals. Advaita says, Zen says that we are all one and we are all one. We have those potentials in us too because it's the same species. That person is made of the same cell, whatever structure you call it, energy or cell. So it's a chance to be more conscious, and especially in the time where we have lost, where we are in a state of shock, where we are itching to react. In that state, if you can manage to be full of grace, love, then that love energy will grow. And this is what we have to do. We have to look at the world and what is happening. And aren't we creating a bad world just because we are ourselves victims to sensations and sensationalizations? Most of the world from the west comes to the east. So many people come to Rishikesh. I wasn't even on the main frame. So many people come to Rishikesh, to India, to gain spiritual ego now because they've accomplished everything in the material world. But they're also having a wrong approach. It is not something that we can achieve. It is something that we have to daily hone, nurture, practice. What do we have to hone, nurture, practice? Well, it is written in your scripture. Do not take it as religion, but take it as scripture, a spiritual encyclopedia, and live with it. You don't have to practice someone else's religion. Practice your own religion as spiritual and spirituality. There are so many good teachers from America. Neville Goddard, all these beautiful, beautiful human beings who have inspired us. And me as a reader, as an absorber of knowledge from all segments of life, from Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Christians, all of them. There is a common message of consciousness in all of it. So utilize it to unite, not divide. There's a common message of love through all the scriptures. And I know for a fact that if someone does actual justice to the scripture, they will align with anyone else from any other religion because all things point towards the same end. So understand it is not a race, culture, caste, religion, country issue. It is the issue of humanity and it being divided, it being excited, and it being too much lost in the moment. What you have to do is have some awareness, some presence, some consciousness, and unite the world. And only love can be the binding glue for this. So that's my message for today. I don't know, I mean, 5 people see this, 3 people see this, 2 people see this, I don't know. But it came from the depth of my soul today. I have other videos which are ready in the pipeline, but I couldn't give them off because this is important. Right now, this is important. I keep talking about this in times of peace, whenever there's nothing happening, non-reactively. But right now, the world needs to awaken to digital well-being and mannerisms of such types. That's me, Dinkrit Sethi, and I wish that we become more responsible, we become more conscious, we become more loving, and wishing you right here all the love in the world. Namaste.